Well, welcome back to 12 News. It's time for another edition of Focused on Mississippi.
Walt Grayson joins us. And Walt, you're taking us to one of your favorite places, Rodney.
Yes, there's something new going on in this old place. You don't get to say that very often. The structural faults at the old Rodney Presbyterian Church are finally being addressed. Take a look. There seems to be less and less of Rodney every time I go there. You know, for an old river port that once had stores and banks and churches and saloons and a jail, you wonder where they put it all when you see it now. Over the years, houses have been torn down or moved away, old buildings demolished with a brick, and some things are still there. The old store at the crossroads, the old Masonic Hall, teetering now with old age, the new Zion MB Church. I don't know if it can come back after that last flood. And the Presbyterian Church, built in the 1830s, shelled by a Union gunboat in the Civil War, still standing, but just barely with the south wall buckling until recently. The Rodney History and Preservation Society, which is mostly a Facebook Friends organization with an active slate of directors, has managed to raise enough money to start stabilization of the church wall. You go see the church now, and you'll find a gaping hole where the wall once stood, with bracing holding up the nearly 200-year-old rafters and wooden scaffolding and weatherproofing. I haven't heard a timetable of when the work might be completed, but the fact that it started is a turnaround from decades of Rodney buildings and property going in the opposite direction, deterioration instead of restoration. But why fix up the old church? Well, why lose the past if you don't have to? There are those days you can go to Rodney and feel the ages, the dreams and desires that it took for people to carve this quiet niche out of the bluffs and hardwoods where they could snug away and live and still trade with the rest of the world with the Mississippi River at the foot of town. Hardly anything left there now but memories, and they're fading. So it's refreshing to see enough people have been haunted by the old ghost town to do the hard work to bring the heart of it back to life. Well, if you want to keep up with what's going on in Rodney, search for the Rodney History and Preservation Society on Facebook. You can keep up with all the progress, even make a donation, or you can even join in one of their cleanup days. They don't have one this weekend. They'll have one soon.